Welcome to another episode of the Hard Target Range on this beautiful, believe it or not, 90-degree day. Today we're going to be looking at the Ruger EC9s. Let's go shooting. Well, here we are back in the shop, and it's 90 degrees out there, guys. I had to wait till later in the afternoon. If you saw any shadows there, that's why. It was just too hot for me. I tell you, I get out in the sun right now, and it has a real intense burning sensation on the skin. Which, yeah, they told me that would happen. I had sunblock on and everything, so I don't want to hear about it. But I waited till the end of the day, and yeah, it got to 90 today, which is way up north near the Canadian border. Pretty darn hot. But fortunately, Jack left me a little grapefruit juice in the shop here for when I came in, so why not? To the sunny slopes of long ago. That doesn't heat you up and cool you down all at the same time. So here we are with the neighbor's EC9s. Yeah, I got to get the alphabet right on this thing. In my other video, I forgot to tag the S on the end because they do have the LC9, which has a, I don't think they're making it anymore though, I'm not sure, which has a hammer on it. These are the striker-fired version, hence the little S on the end. The gun worked flawlessly with one exception, which we'll talk about in a second, but I went to the paper range. At the beginning there, those shots were at the paper range, and anytime I get a gun I've never shot before, I like to put it on paper to see where it's going before I take it out to any kind of distance. I think that's a good idea. So I stopped at the paper range on the way down to the hard target range, and I shot at this paper plate at 30 feet. And I did, well, I guess it was like this. No, actually, it was like this. Yeah, it was like this. And I did all right, and then that last one was kind of a flyer up here. My first shot was the one in the center here, and then the ones after around it, and then the last shot, yeah, kind of a flyer. It's printing a little bit higher because I was aiming right about here, because at that point I already knew it was printing higher. I was aiming right about here, figuring I was a little bit low on dead center, and that's what I ended up with. But certainly, for the first time I ever shot it, yeah, it's fairly accurate. And at the hard target range, I didn't miss one shot, so I did aim each time dead center on the bottom half of the target. Hit every shot. Not bad for a little gun like this. The safety didn't give me any problems. I will say I wish I'd had a little bit of a heavier trigger pull for my liking. It's a little bit quicker than I'd like. Let's put a magazine in because it's got a magazine disconnect. And when you pull the trigger, it's just about, I'd like it to go another at least 25%. It's like 75% of the way there or maybe somewhere between 60 and 75% of the way there. I'd like to see it a little bit longer trigger pull and just a tad heavier for my liking. But that's Mr. Holster. Some people like, but I like to have time to back out of things, especially on a gun like this. Yeah, I say it's a little bit lighter than I like. That being said, very accurate gun, easy to shoot, performed flawlessly with one exception. And that's what we're going to talk about real quick here. Here's an empty magazine, and you'll notice works perfectly. My neighbor had picked up, and this is kind of interesting too, kind of a sidebar here. He had picked up some magazines from Midway USA, and they were on special for $16.50 or $16.75 or something. And they came in, and yeah, they're factory original and everything, except for, why don't you see that? They're made in Italy. And if you look at the one that came with a gun, made in the USA. So I'm thinking, I may be wrong, you may know better, you can chime in down below. I'm thinking that Ruger, when they changed their marketing to advertise made in the USA, they quit farming out their magazines and that these were made by Mekgar. And these were probably on special for 16 bucks because they were old stock and they were trying to move them out. But I don't know. I have the slightest idea. That's just a guess out of the clear blue sky. But this is what I found. These things work just fine. They're all perfectly identical. You wouldn't know the difference. Nothing wrong with them. No reason not to buy them for 16 bucks. But this is what I found. I'm going to put a round in this magazine and load it, and it works fine till there. If you angle it a little bit and it doesn't go just right, you can hang this thing up. See, it's hung up. Now, if I take the round out and the follower is all the way up to the top, I can't duplicate that. So what I think's going on here is when the round gets in, then you've got the follower down below, and you've got the metal lip here, and that catches on the mag release, on the retention on the mag release inside there. But when there's not a round in there and that follower is all the way up, it bounces off. It doesn't catch on that. That's what I'm guessing. And that was happening to me about the same as it did here, about one every 7 or 8 times. I'd go to put it in and it would catch. Just like that. Which, if that happened when you needed it, it could be enough to ruin your day. So that's what I'm going to tell my friend is we should pull that off and just put a little bevel on that on the inside, and I bet it goes away. I just thought I'd mention that because I noticed that. Other than that, a fantastic little gun. I would have no problem with carrying this as a backup firearm. I really wouldn't. And there you go. That's another proof that the fixed sights if I get it there. Yeah, well, whatever. The fixed sights, they work just well. Just fine. Not a problem. If I held, at 30 feet, if I held the front sight down to the first line on the serration, it was dead on for me. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the sights aren't dead on. That might be just me, the way I'm pulling the trigger, or maybe I'm dropping it or picking it up. Maybe I'm picking it up just a little bit when I'm pulling the trigger. And when I hold it with it on the front sight just below the back sight, lined up with where the serrations start, I'd hit it dead center every time. But that just might be me, because I I might be doing this when I pull that trigger. Highly possible. I might be, but actually I don't think I am. That was at 30 feet, and I didn't back up and walk it back and see where it hit or any of that. I just wanted to see basically where, if I was going to be all right. I don't like going into this blind and just... So there you go. I'll leave you with a little more footage of me shooting at the HardTarget range at those beautiful AR-500 steel HardTargets from HardTarget. Well, that ends another episode of the HardTarget range. If you want some of those beautiful AR-500 steel HardTargets, just follow the link below. Till next time, from Mr. Holster and Jack, go out and stay safe.